welcome back to my channel. I finished some books, so we have another review, and then my current read is in my book sleeve. So I was actually able, while we were on our trip to Georgia for 2 weeks, the first week we were in the motorhome, I was actually able to read Mr. Magic. So we'll talk about that, and then because I read it and I wasn't planning on finishing it, or if I did finish it, I wasn't thinking I was going to finish it that soon. I did buy a book. We were in Walmart. My kids are playing in their room, which is right above me, so excuse the banging. But I bought a book, so we'll talk about this book too, and then I have my current read. So let's talk about Mr. Magic. This is by Kiersten White, and she's the author of the best-selling book Hide. This is the only book of hers that I have read, so it looks like that. It's about a kids' TV show that was filmed in the 80s, and there was like some weird stuff. One of the cast members was allegedly killed. Another one disappeared. Well, the missing cast member is found. I think I talked about that briefly when I was talking about this as my current read. They find her, so she's the main character, and then she's trying to uncover what happened to her because she has no memories of being on the show. And they're doing a reunion with the cast. And so there is some 80s references, but not as many as I thought there was going to be. But it was a good book, but go into it with an open mind because it does have a huge twist. Like, it didn't go where I thought it was going to go, so it wasn't bad. But, again, I apologize about the kids. But it was good. I liked it. Like I said, I was able to get through it. I'm not necessarily in a hurry to read something else of hers. Her writing style is good. Like, it was, once I got into it, it was a pretty fast read, so that's nice. But I am interested. I have looked her up on ThriftBooks, so I think I have a couple of her books in my saved, like, wish list section. So yeah, it's worth a read, but it didn't go where I thought it was going to go. So just go into it with an open mind, if that makes sense. And then the book that I purchased while we were on the road is by Tigest Girma. I am probably butchering that name. It's very South African. She's a Black author. It's called Immortal Dark. So it's a vampire novel, but all of the vampires are African American. So go into that with an open mind because some of the names are very like African. So I'm sure I was pronouncing them in my head wrong. It took me a little bit to get past that, being an English, like, Caucasian person. So the flow of some of the names was a little bit distracting, but I knew going into it that it was going to be an African vampire novel because she talks about that in the description, because generally most vampires are Caucasian. So vampire books are written from a Caucasian perspective. She's not wrong on that. So she wanted to write a book geared for people like her, which I can appreciate that. It is well written. The chapters are short. It's a long book, 420 pages, but it was a pretty fast read. I read probably, I think when I came home, I had like let me see, like this much left. I had read most of that when we were on the road. So it's a fast read. But again, the naming of things is a little weird. Like, the main vampire is Susenyos Sagod. So it's Susenyos is his first name. And then his last name is I think it's Sagad. So, I mean, obviously when you're reading, it's in your head. You can pronounce them however you want. And then the female main character is Kidan, Kidan. And then her sister's name is June. So it took me a little bit to get past some of the names. But again, I knew it was going to be an African vampire. Yeah, her prologue: for the Black girls who've always marveled at the dark beauty of vampires, the immortals look like us in this one. So I can appreciate what she was going for. And she left it open, so I think this is supposed to be part of a series eventually. This is her debut novel. Again, it's very good. She creates a whole like new vampire sublore in this book, and she does a really good job. Like, and then the book takes place on Uxley University. So here's the campus. The houses control the vampires. It's very good, very well written, but like I said, the naming of things kind of threw me off a little bit, being me. So again, go into it with an open mind. And like I said, she does leave it open to where I think it's supposed to be part of a series eventually. I don't know. It was a good book, but I'm one of those where I will forget about things. So I have to look her up and see if she's already written or going to write when the second one's going to come out. Because if it's too long, I will have forgotten about it and probably moved on. But I would be interested in reading the second one if it comes out like in the next year. So I'll have to look that up. But yeah, I will link these down below. Again, I bought this at Walmart, but I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. This I bought on Amazon. So I will link these books down below. And then let's talk about what I'm currently reading. Most of my books, and I can link them on ThriftBooks. Most of my books I try and buy on ThriftBooks because it's cheaper. So I did get this book. This is the Christmas Chronicles, and this is the one that has the 3 books together. That's why it's so large, because I think each book's only about 200 pages. So the books themselves are pretty short. This is by Jeff Gunn, G-U-I-N. And I think this is the book series that the Netflix movies with Kurt Russell were based on. So the first book is the autobiography of Santa Claus. So it's written from the perspective that Santa is dictating his story to this guy. And so it's like Santa's telling it in first person. And then the second book is How Mrs. Claus Saved Christmas. And then the third book is The Great Santa Search. I believe that you can buy these books individually. They do show them right here. And I think I saw them on ThriftBooks individually. I bought this book, not this exact copy, but I bought this book when I was in high school and never read it and then got rid of it. So this is the same copy that I had when I was in high school. And it took me a long time to find it because I liked this cover art. And so, yeah, it took me a while to come across a copy of this on ThriftBooks, but I did find one. So there's my little ThriftBook sticker, if you don't believe me, but I did find a copy like the one I had before. So again, I just started the first book, but it's, you know, recycled paper. So it's got kind of a vintage feel. I don't know. I liked this copy, but again, you can buy them individually. So I will link this down below. So I'm hoping to at least get through the first book before Christmas. I should theoretically be able to read this whole thing if I kind of forced myself to read. I've been kind of laxed, so that's why I barely started it since we've been back home. But I'm excited. I've actually been doing pretty well with my reading, so hoping if I don't get through this before Christmas, then I'll just save it for next year because I won't be interested in reading that after Christmas. It's just the way I am. So trying to get into it early. So hopefully I can at least finish the autobiography of Santa. But yeah, those are the books that I've read, my current read. Again, I will try and link Amazon and ThriftBooks down below. I like ThriftBooks because, again, you're giving new life to stuff that's already out there. Saves waste. It's cheaper generally. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye, everybody.